the produce. The Torah says you have to tithe the produce and give to the kohen from the grain, from the wine, from the oil, and it's called teruma. And it has a certain level of kedusha, holiness in it. And if it becomes tummy, if it becomes contaminated, you can't eat it. So they wanted to ensure that it doesn't become tummy, doesn't become contaminated. So how do they ensure that it doesn't become tummy? So hands have the status of sheni l'tum. There's different levels of impurity. Like a dead body is the worst. Someone touches the dead body, next. Right? So the hands have a certain status called sheni l'tumah, second to tumah. That's what it's called, without going into all the details. In other words, well, it could be it's not. It could be hands are not tummy, but we assume that your hands are tummy because you watch all day what your hands are touching. So we assume that the hands have a certain status of tumah. But therefore, we assume that if a person is going to be eating teruma, a kohen is eating teruma, which has to be holy, and his hands, we could assume are tummy, the teruma, which is holy, is going to become contaminated. So David Chacham enacted that all the kohenim should wash their hands. Now, what does that do with us? Chachamim, when they enacted it, they did not want to make any distinction between kohen. Many times, in order to shouldn't lead to confusion, so it makes it easier. Everyone knows you have to wash your hands. The kohen or Yisrael, and then when one kohen sees a Yisrael not washing his hands, and he thinks, "Oh, I don't have to wash my hands." Chachamim said everyone has to wash their hands. Now, what does it do with bread? We're talking about truma, right? Because truma comes from the 5 grains: wine, oil. Now, wine and oil, which includes grapes and olives, usually the purpose of grapes and olives is to make wine and oil. And that is usually the way you consume it is not by touching it. You touch the cup. Whereas the 5 grains, you touch the food itself. Usually the 5 grains, the main purpose of 5 grains is to make bread. So it means that bread, the primary foods of truma, which can be touched, was bread. So that's a Masakin then acted that before you eat bread, everyone, kohen, Yisrael, make a difference. You have to wash your hands because we assume your hands are tamei, and then you're going to wash your hands before you eat it. And it's a very interesting thing what Alter Rebbe writes in Shulchan Aruch. Alter Rebbe writes, even though we have no Beis HaMikdash now, even though the kohenim are not eating any truma, there's no truma these days because we're all tummy. We don't have the red heifer to make us pure. So there's no kohenim these days are not eating truma. So what is it all about these days? So the Rebbe says, so the Jews should be accustomed to wash the hands because when the Beis HaMikdash will be rebuilt speedily nowadays, the Jews should already be in the habit of eating impurity. And, okay, I mean, this only for Amoitzi because the primary, back then especially, the primary use of the 5 grains was to make bread, which was used for a meal, not like these make cakes or cookies. So that was the primary purpose and use of the 5 grains, bread, which is used for the meal, which was Amoitzi. That's why you only wash for Hamoitzi. Then we say a bracha when we wash, even though we weren't commanded in the Torah. Our sages enacted it, because the pasuk says, don't move away from what your sages tell you. Like all the other brachas that we say for Hanukkah candles, for reading the Megillah. So too here, even though Hashem did not command us, but we are saying, blessed are you, Hashem, you commanded us, because Hashem commanded us that we should follow the sages. Now, This bracha on Tzilas Yadayim is only said if you're going to have a certain amount of bread, the size of an egg, which is approximately an ounce. It's approximately an ounce. It goes according to the volume, but we translate it in weight, but sometimes it could change a little bit depending on what it is, if it's a cookie but it's approximately an ounce, an ounce and a half. That's the size of an egg. So in order to wash and say on Tzilas Yadayim, you have to need a certain amount. You're just having one little piece, then you cannot say on Tzilas Yadayim. You still have to wash your hands without a bracha. When you wash your hands, you want to make sure that the water gets on your entire hand. A lot of people aren't conscious on this. They washing 3 times. Now in halacha, it says you wash twice. Many Chabadis you wash 3 times. Like going to the reason now. So halachically it's twice. Now every time you wash your hand, you have to make sure that the water gets to everywhere. If you wash your hand and the water doesn't get here, there's water missing here, then you didn't wash your hand. What do you mean didn't wash your hand? What's the problem? There's some water missing? Okay, I'll wash this. What did I miss? I missed here? Okay, I'll wash here too. What's the problem? No, you have to wash over the whole hand. You don't have to dry your hand, but the water has to get into the whole hand at once. I mean, it could be with rotation, you're rotating your hand, but it has to be one continuous pour that water has to get in your whole hand. If it doesn't get on your whole hand, you don't have to dry it because didn't become tummy. You just have to rewash that hand. It's like you didn't wash. So you want to make sure it gets into the whole hand. Well, after you wash your hand once, you touched the other hand, which is tummy, then you have to dry your hand and rewash again. While it was still wet. So the bracha. So you're familiar with the bracha when you light Shabbos candles and Yom Tov candles, that you light the candles and then you say the bracha. Usually we say a bracha in a mitzvah. We say the bracha before the mitzvah or after the mitzvah. Usually do it before the mitzvah, right? Are you familiar with the concept that the bracha is supposed to be before? Usually the bracha is supposed to be before the mitzvah, not after. There are exceptions to the rule. Shabbos candles. There's another exception. See the bracha afterwards. Why not before? Washing your hands because they're not clean, and sometimes they can be really not clean, right? And then you can't say the bracha. So Chum said, we're not going to say, okay, if you're able to say before, say before. If after, it's too confusing. Chum said, you wash your hands for bread, being that you're washing it because it could be tummy, and it could also be actually dirty, that you can say the bracha. So therefore, everyone says the bracha after you wash your hands. But there's still significance in saying a bracha before the mitzvah. So what we're going to do now is, just like by Shabbos candles, you may be familiar. Why do you cover your hands and then say the bracha? You know why you cover your hands and then you say the bracha?
You don't want to see the fire.
What?
Shabbos, you don't want to see the fire.
Because you don't. I'm missing a word.
Because you can't see the fire.
Because you can't see the fire. Okay, you're saying something. Can't see it. What's the idea of saying? Well, you could see the fire. You don't want to see the fire?
No, but isn't it the whole idea that when you uncover your eyes,
now you could benefit.
See the fire? Yeah.
It's a benefit. Okay, right. So that's right. Yeah, right. In other words, the purpose of lighting Shabbos candles is to benefit from the light. So we're doing is, even though we're doing it afterwards, but we also want to have this idea that we're doing it before the mitzvah. The mitzvah is really to benefit from the light. So right after we light it, we cover our eyes. Now we can't benefit. And then we say the bracha, and then we take off our hands. Now we can benefit. So in a certain way, it's like we said the bracha before the mitzvah. That's the idea of covering your eyes. I mean, the only ideas of going, if you do it, I'm not going into that, but I'm saying the original reason is to cover your eyes so you don't get any benefit from it. And then after you say the bracha, you take off your hands. Now you could benefit. So it's like you said the bracha before the mitzvah. The same thing is by washing your hands. We also want to apply this idea of doing a bracha before the mitzvah. The mitzvah is to wash your hands and to clean your hands. Part of the process of cleaning your hands is rubbing your hands. That's how you, right? When you clean your hands and they're dirty, you rub it. So after we wash our hands, we say the bracha, and then we rub it together. So the rubbing is part of the cleaning. Removes dirt. You want to make sure that there's nothing stuck to your hand. There's no what's called a chatzitza. You ever heard the word chatzitza? Chatzitza interruption. You have a band-aid on your hand, take it off. Now the ring, we also take off, even though it's not in the same status like a band-aid. Ring, it really depends if it's loose, if it's tight. If it's loose, we can argue and say you don't have to take it off, but it's just simpler to take it off than check is it then loose. When you're ready to loosen it, you're ready to take it off. But the idea is that water should get in there. Yeah.
I feel like it's a change with rings if it's a ring that someone wears every single day, because I've heard that before and I'm not sure that's true.
If you wear the ring 24/7, it's not a chatzitza. However, the issue is people don't wear it 24/7. There are times that you don't want to wear it. Like when you're kneading the dough, you take it off. So it's not something that you wear all the time. That's why it becomes an issue of chatzitza. That's why you take it off when you wash your hands. If it's mamish loose, which it's just not a good idea, because then you won't have your ring. So then it's not a chatzitza, but usually it's tight because you don't want it to fall off, right? So. If you have dirt under your nails, so if the dirt is on the part of the nail, this is very technical, man. If the dirt is on the part of the nail that's flush with your skin, then it's not a chatzitza, halachically. But if your nails are going over your skin, and the dirt is under the nail, the part that's over the skin, then it's a chatzitza. That makes sense?
Yeah, that's good.
You got what I said? Are over, under, okay, good. Now, what about if let's say you're cleaning your hand. Now, let's say you have dirt and you're cleaning your nails, whatever, and it's good. After you clean it, always make sure you wipe it dry, because your hands have to be dry when you wash your hands. You don't want your hands to be wet. Because the whole idea is that the water should hit your hand directly without anything blocking in the middle, not letting it get into your hand. So you want to make sure your hands are dry. So like, it was dirty. I just cleaned it. It's good. It's a little moist. So what? I'm washing your hands. No. Hands have to be dry before you wash your hands. Yeah.
Oh, is it okay? Like I see a lot of people doing it, so I started doing it. But they do like 3, and after they take a towel and they take the nature.
Yes, it's better. Yeah, it's better to use a towel.
Why?
Right. So I wasn't really planning to go into it today, but so I could tell you. I'll tell you briefly. The main point is over here is that let's say you wash your hands. Yeah. You wash your hands 3 times, and now if you touch the kidney with your hands, yeah, you don't use a towel. Let's say, okay. Put this up. By the way, when you wash your hands, you know you're supposed to pick it up with your right hand. If you're righty, you know you pick it up with your right hand and you give it to your left. You know that, right? Here you go. You're pouring 3 times. Let's see, you're not using a towel. Wash 3 times, and then you touch over here. Now, if you touch here, and there's water here from someone else who washed their hands, is there someone else who washed their hands before you? After they washed their hands, with their wet hands, they touched it. So now if you put your hands over here, now your hands become tummy. Because after they washed their hands were tummy. The water on the hands become tummy. again, there's more details. Now I'm asking, I'll let Hashem talk into more details because we wash 3 times, so it could be a little different, but let's make it simple. So let's say in a regular case, someone washes their hands once, yeah? Now, why do you wash your hands twice? According to look, you have to wash twice. The first time, what happens is the tefillah goes out from the hands into the water, and then the second time you wash, it washes off the water, the tefillah completely. Now, if let's say you wash your hands once, let's say, and then you touch the keli, so now your hands are tummy, the water on your hands are tummy, and you touch the keli, now there's tummy water on your hands. Let's say the next person picks up the keli, and he washes the keli with the right hand, left hand, then he dries it, fine, pours here. Then he takes his hand, while it's still wet, even though he poured already 3 times, but his hands are wet. And now, if he touches the keli here on the water that someone else puts, so his hands become tummy. So that's the kid. So there's more details. If could be after the 3rd time, it is okay, whatever. There's a lot of more things, but that's the main nekuda. That's when we use a towel so the hands don't get into touch with any tummy water while it's still wet. Yeah.
Are we supposed to do it every time we wash?
What do you mean every time, as opposed to what? What do you mean every time?
Like in the morning too.
Oh, when you wash in the morning, every time. Okay, you're not, for sure not for bathroom. You mean in the morning? You mean in the morning for Negelwasser, when you sell Tosidayim, not going to the bathroom. So the Alter Rebbe says that the halachas of the washing in the morning is the same as the washing for bread, which means that a lot of people don't do it, but a lot of people do it because of that reason. So yes, it is better to use a towel in the morning also.
So how? Because you do it like this.
Yeah.
So how?
I keep on switching. I go yes, but now it could be if you make sure everything is dry, like don't. It could be not necessarily you always have to, but it's definitely better. I pick it up like this, and I put it to this side, and then make sure it's dry. I wash, and I put it down. Take the towel, go like this. It's much more work because you're going back and forth. Whereas for washing for bread, it's only once. Yeah, that's what I do. But not everyone does. I'm not sure why. It could be the concerns aren't so big. I don't know. It's a topic. Yeah.
Also, I had a question earlier. So you mentioned that Nisa is like when you have dirt under your nails. So I was thinking on Shabbos you can't take the dirt out, right?
Oh, okay, very good. So to start, there's a mitzvah to cut your nails on Erev Shabbos, cover Shabbos, and then if you do that, you have both. It's in honor of Shabbos, and also one of the problems with washing your hands. Now, if you didn't, and now there's dirt under your nails, so there is an issue to take out the dirt under your nails and scrubbing against your nail. You're not allowed to do. I think it's brought down that if you do it, if you could take it off, but you can't scrub the nail. You could take out the dirt. Just be careful not to rub against the nail. It doesn't say you can't take out the dirt.
So you could do with a different.
I have to double check. I have to double check exactly. But that's what I remember is that there's an issue rubbing against your nail inside.
Okay.
Smoothing.
Like
you're rubbing against. Usually, when you take out dirt, you're always rubbing against your nail. Just realize if you're taking out dirt on your nail, you're going to be rubbing against your nail.
right.
So it is an issue. So yeah, it's a problem. It's an issue doing it on Shabbos. Yeah, that's why you cut your nails at full Shabbos. You know.
But then can you still wash Negelwasser if that's the case already?
The dirt under your nail is only a problem that's under the part that's overlapping you.
Oh.
The dirt that's under your nail that's flush with your flesh. It's not a problem. It's only if you have dirt under your nail, it's overlapping the skin, overlapping your finger. Only then is it an issue.
So like in the white part of your nail?
That's what we were saying before. That's what I asked if everyone understood what I was saying. I had a feeling that it wasn't so clear. Yeah, there's your nail, right? Now, if your nails are short, so when you go onto your nail, it's still flush with the finger. Make sense what I'm saying? The nails are long, it goes over the finger.
Oh,
So now, if you're going onto your nail, it's not necessarily flush with your finger. Does that make sense? Yeah.
I think so. So when it's not close to your skin and they're long.
Right. So for the dirt that's under your nail that's close to your skin, meaning you have to go, it's between, the dirt is technically between the nail and your skin.
Ah, okay.
That dirt is not considered a chatzitza because people aren't so bothered about it because it's not so noticeable. But when it overlaps the flesh of your finger, the nail comes over, there's dirt over there, that dirt becomes a chatzitza. So Shabbos is an issue. Right? I have to look up again if there's a way to take it off, but there is a problem scratching against the nail on Shabbos. Yeah. Okay, so let's continue. Now, what happens if you do not cut your nails for Shabbos and the nail starts to tear off? We discussed it about this.
With
Yeah,
the
you
gloves?
remember? 1 second, we didn't get to the gloves yet. Your nail's tearing off and it's Shabbos. You got to tear, could you wash your hands? Could you tear off your nail? What do? It's definitely worth it to cut your nails for Shabbos. But if you didn't, so what do? Your nail's tearing off. Could you tear it off? Could you wash your hands? What do?
Doesn't it depend also how much the
And
other
how-
tore off?
Depends how much tore off, correct.
Can't you also bite it off or like take off in like a weird way or something?
There is such a thing if a person is very uncomfortable and most of the nail is off, we allow you to take it off in an unusual way. Yes.
If most.
That's because it's causing you a lot of discomfort. I'm discussing for washing for bread. The nail is off. Is it a chatzitza because the nail is torn off? So if part of the nail started to peel off, just part of it, then it's a chatzitza. Because the water has to get everywhere. If part of the nail is tearing off, so now the water has to get between the nail that's starting to tear off and the finger and the rest. If only tore off a drop, the water can't get in properly, so then it's a chatzitza. If most of the nail tore off, then it's not a chatzitza. Because the water can get in. It's not a chatzitza. Because it's considered like it's off already. So then you can't wash that hand. So what do? You put on, right. If you ever have a problem with the hand, okay. The same thing would, whatever we're discussing now, the same thing would be if you have a Band-Aid that you cannot take off. Sometimes you have Band-Aids you could take off, take it off. You can't take it off. It's like medical, you can't take it off, then you don't take it off. Now, could you wash your hands with a Band-Aid? Remember, did we discuss this? Remember, could you wash your hands with a Band-Aid on? If you can't take off the Band-Aid, could you wash your hands with a Band-Aid?
If you can't take it off.
Medically, you're not supposed to take it off. It's supposed to
Then
be there.
yes.
It's healing. Is it a chatzitza?
No.
It's not is it a chatzitza?
No.
It's not a chatzitza because if it's meant to be there, then it's nullified at the end. It's supposed to be there.
Right.
You don't want to take it off. But there's a catch. There's a very big catch on it. Because do you want the Band-Aid to get wet? I don't know. It could be it's okay to get wet. I mean, they make it. I don't know. It's always the same way. But let's say you're not supposed to get the Band-Aid wet, which is usually many times that's the case. So now you're not going to pour over the Band-Aid. You're going to pour around the Band-Aid. You're going to pour it up to the Band-Aid. You can't get up exact to the Band-Aid. You're going to pull back a little from the Band-Aid. Now you're not washing your whole hand. So then that's the problem. So if you're able to make the Band-Aid wet and you're not allowed to take it off, so it's fine. But if you're not going to wash the whole hand and the Band-Aid is not getting wet, and around the Band-Aid there's a part that's not getting wet, then you have a problem. So what do? So you put on a glove. So that hand that we're saying, Halacha says you can't wash it. You're not able to wash this hand. So what do? You can't eat bread. So you put a band, you put a glove, or it could be a towel, but I'm saying glove is just more practical. You put a glove on your hand while you're eating the bread. And you wash the other hand. And you still say the bracha until Sidayim because you're washing one hand. You still say the bracha. But when you're eating the bread, the hand that you didn't wash has to be covered. And it doesn't make a difference if you're eating it yourself or someone is feeding you. Let's say someone else is going to be feeding you the bread. You don't want to deal with this. Put on a glove. You know what? I'll ask someone else to put it into my mouth. It doesn't help. It goes according to the person who's eating it. The one who's feeding you doesn't have to wash his hands. It's the one because the Takanas Chachamim was for the one who's eating the bread. So the fact that you're not going to take the bread in your hand doesn't matter. You're supposed to wash your hands or cover it. Understood? Okay, so after you wash your hands, you're supposed to make sure you dry your hands properly. And you're not supposed to dry your hands with a garment, with a shirt, with a coat, a dress. You're supposed to dry with a towel. Not sure what the reason is, but it's one you're not supposed to. And the hands are supposed to be dry completely. It's not like, come out of the bathroom, you dry you wash your hands good with soap and water, and then you took a towel, and as soon as you walk away, it's not completely dry. So what? Your hands are clean. No, it's supposed to be completely dry. Before you say a mitzi, your hands are supposed to be completely dry. Okay? Now, you're inviting someone to your house, and they're not religious, and you want to give them to eat, and you want to give them bread, and they're not going to wash their hands. You know they're not going to wash your hands. You're not allowed to give them the bread if they're not going to wash their hands, because you're causing them to eat bread without washing their hands. So if you're inviting people, whatever, for Shabbos weekend, so you just do things together. Okay, now we're going to wash our hands. But if you know they're not going to wash their hands, it's a big issue. You're not allowed to give them bread when you know they're not going to wash their hands.
Even if they don't want
You
to.
trap, huh? What?
Even if they don't want to wash their hands.
Well, the saying is, if you know they're not going to wash their hands, you should not allowed to give them bread.
Do you mean by do bread? On the table at all, or like handing them bread?
Well, it's a good question. It's sort of the same idea. You're putting bread before them. You're having a party, you're inviting them to the house, and there's bread over there, and you're inviting them to come and eat. It's the same idea. You're giving them bread that you know they're not going to wash.
I
So-
was just
Yeah.
about to say, like,
What?
in a Chabad house, we're
Like,
not,
not everyone
that was the
washes,
word.
they still have bread out.
Right. Okay, so I'm not making judgments on what to do in the Chabad house. I mean, it's very challenging running a Chabad house. I don't know what to say. Maybe they do try to speak to them a little about washing their hands. Discussing halachically, practically it could be maybe they discussed with their enough and their situation. This is how they feel they're going to ultimately get to the person. Discussing. It's a straightforward halacha. If you know the person is not going to wash, you're not supposed to give them bread. Maybe it would be better. Maybe they're not aware. Maybe it'd be better they've just put mazonos. That's why people think Hamleitzi is better than mazonos, because mazonos is a question of Kli Yisrael. Not necessarily, because if you're giving Hamleitzi and they're not washing, that can be worse. So, yeah. What?
A lot of Chabad houses will say, like, everyone's invited to wash, so let's go wash, like that kind of thing.
Okay, so it's not so.
Yeah.
Fine, so it could be, again, it's different. Maybe they discussed it with someone has experienced this and feel that this is a way how to ultimately, long run, perhaps but it's not so simple. Or it could be they just never really delved into it. There's so many halachas that you have to, it's hard to keep track, when you're shlichus, to keep track of every single halacha, when you're so involved with helping people, it's very challenging, you don't judge them if they don't do exactly, but here you have to learn what the halacha is and try to do things in a better way. Now, if you're traveling on the road Yeah, I'm reading Allah the ways back in those days. These days it's very different, as you'll see. You're traveling on the road and you don't have any water and you want to eat bread, right? Is it practical these days? You're on the road and I guess it could happen, these days, this rest areas you can find, but it could be in a place and you want to eat bread and there's no water. And this is those days, it was like, this is what they ate, and just fast. So what do? So there's an argument what to do. One opinion says you cover your hand, like we said before. You cover your hands when you eat the bread. Put on gloves and eat the bread. But not everyone agrees with this. But the Alter Rebbe says it's whoever's strict will be blessed. It's better to be strict and not to use the leniency of covering your hands because there's no bread. That's different than before. When a person can't wash his hands because of chatzitza, you cover your hand. Over here, you could wash your hands, there's no water. And it's hard to wait till there's water. Over here, it's better not to rely on this leniency of because there's no water, I'm going to cover my hands. So halachically, you could, no problem. There's no water. We don't tell you to fast, but it's better to be strict. And especially these days when usually we're not dependent on the piece of bread. There's other food that we have. All the more so, it's reason to be strict and not to use the leniency of covering your hands when eating bread. Questions?
Yes. What's the ideal, or what game do you want to play? Where there's no sense.
It's the same idea. You want to eat bread, you mean?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Oh, 1 second. No, there is water. There's water
There is
in
water, but it's in
the bathroom. So you wash in the bathroom.
That's fine.
Sure. Better than not washing. Much better than not washing. Yeah.
No, I mean better than
It's
I don't
not
know,
it's not the ideal place to wash. But if it's between washing and not washing, you go to the bathroom, close it, cover the toilets, you do whatever you could in terms of, covering the toilets, and you have a quart. You should travel with a quart, not the
What if
quart.
you don't have one?
Plastic cups are very like the when I have in my car a little quart, not the regular size quart, but a smaller quart. I don't think I ever used it, but I have it in my car. I travel, I have this little quart.
Right.
It's a little smaller than this. It's about this size, maybe. It drops.
Like for kids?
It's about this. What?
For kids.
My kids, I use regular sized quart, but it's a smaller size. It's not very small. It's just smaller than the regular quarts. So you keep looking. So you have it with you whenever you travel.
Okay, but if I don't have one, I can use a plastic cup.
You could use a plastic cup. Yeah, it's not ideal, but it works.
Okay,
It's okay.
and then,
You wash inside the bathroom, and then don't dry your hands in the bathroom.
and you say the bracha outside of the bathroom.
Yeah. Anyways, drying is part of the cleaning. You come in the bathroom and you say the bracha,
Okay,
and you rub it, and that's it. That's what you do. Yeah.
okay. And on the car, like when you're on the car, in the car, and there's obviously no water. So, oh, I wanted to ask, if you stop and you wash at a rest stop, can you bench in the car when they're driving or no?
What about benching? It's about we saying a mitzi.
I know, but I'm asking about.
You're
benching.
washing in a rest area right next to your car. Your car is
Yes.
right there. Car is here, right there. You're washing your hands.
I mean, it's not right there,
Whatever.
where the parking space is.
Yeah, but you're washing in a place, and then where you saying a mitzi. It's not about you washing when you said a mitzi. You're saying a mitzi in your car. You're washing next to your car.
Okay,
There's multiple things happening over here. Okay. We're talking about washing or mitzi. It's two separate things. There's washing and then there's a mitzi and benching.
no, I'm asking about benching.
Okay, so you said a mitzi in the car.
So if you said I'm waiting in the car and the car starts moving, you can bench.
Yes, it's considered
Even
one,
if you're traveling.
it's one place. You're in the same place. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, did everyone?
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
I did a project for some of them made videos for their project. They either have music in the background or record the video facing like a song that they put together. So